So what does it take to rise up and overcome life's biggest challenges? And not just to overcome, but to overcome and thrive after some of life's biggest adversities. Today's Inside Scoop on how you can do exactly that. Rise and thrive. The book is Rising Above, Empowering Stories of Women Overcoming Adversity. The author, Alison Maloni, features her own incredible story and the story of 10 women who faced trauma, loss, addiction, abuse, and financial devastation. I can tell you this conversation is going to encourage you too, because if they can rise, guess what? You can rise too. Our insider once again today is the author herself, Alison Maloni. Alison, welcome. I am so excited to talk to you today about your new book.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, first question, why did you write this book?
Great question. There's a number of reasons, but the main one is that I started to see a shift on social media on how women were presenting themselves. For years, we'd scroll through social media, we'd go on LinkedIn, we'd read articles, and it was all about, how to do this, how to have the perfect life, how to do all the things that we think we should be doing. And I started to see entrepreneurs, CEOs, regular everyday women shift how they were saying things. They started telling their own stories, and all of our stories are messy. Nobody's life is perfect, but they started putting themselves out there and being vulnerable. And what they found was not only was it powerful for them to tell their stories, but they were helping other people. I think for so long, women felt scared to share their story because of fear of maybe appearing weak, or what would my business folks think? What would my future husband or my future wife think? If I'm telling people these vulnerable things that happen in my life. But we're really starting to see women come out there, share their stories, be vulnerable, but they're also helping others through the process.
Yeah, there's so much power in hearing someone else's story and then maybe taking one little piece from it and saying, hey, if they can do it, maybe I can do it. I mean, it really provides hope when we can be that vulnerable. Tell me a little bit about your story, because you have an incredible story to tell too.
Sure. I had a lot of loss early in my life. I lost my mom to cancer when I was at the age of 4. My dad, unfortunately, had PTSD. He was a Marine in the Vietnam War, and he just couldn't really take care of me. So I had gone to my grandparents' house, lost my grandmother, just moved with my aunt and uncle, had a lot of loss. And then at the age of 9, developed an eating disorder. Long story short, I powered through, graduated college, had some children, got a divorce, then kind of started out on my own. And then was in a relationship and everything ended. And I was left with $10 to my name. Wow. I had 3 children to take care of, and I had to call my parents and ask to borrow money for groceries. I was rock bottom. I didn't know what to do. I had essentially lost my business because I had put everything in this relationship. And after a couple of days on the couch, I decided I have to get up. I have to do something. I read a lot of books. I prayed. I turned to my family, and I rebuilt my business. And the last 6 years have been significantly different. But it's because I would turn to women, some of them in my book, who I thought, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I was reluctant to share my story because I'm an open book, but some things people don't know. Yeah. But I thought, if these 9 other women are brave enough to share their story, then I can too.
Yeah. There are so many of us who've been in that pit of despair when you feel as though life is over, everything's in flames. What am I going to do now? And I know for myself personally, there is a moment where something clicks. And for not everyone, there's not that moment that something clicks. But what was it for you? Because if we can help a woman watching right now who needs that moment where something clicks, I want to make sure we do that, because that can change the entire trajectory of your future, but also your family's future. So for you, in that moment when you thought it was over, it was done, what was that one thing that you drew on, or that one moment you can remember that something clicked and you said, you know what, I'm going to fight? What was that for you?
I remember it very well. I was in the shower and I was crying, trying to hide it from my 3 daughters. And I thought, what am I doing? I have 3 daughters. First of all, they can't see me like this. And second of all, they need to see that I can overcome anything. I need to be strong for them, because if I'm not, who are they going to have? And so I all of a sudden said, you know what, it's time. You cried, you did this, you did that. How do I start moving forward? And little by little, it was, you think it just all of a sudden happens and your life changes, but it was second by second, making changes, trying to, get new business, trying to do whatever I could, getting side jobs, writing blogs. But it was my kids, because I had to be there for them, and I had to be strong. And thank God for them, because honestly, if I didn't have them, I don't know what I would have done. But they are the reason why I am where I am now.
Yeah, they were the purpose that fueled your passion to get back out there. I know that in your book, you explain more of those things in detail. Can you talk with us and share with the people watching about some of the other women that you feature in your book? What are some of the stories and the themes and some of the things that they are overcoming that you are able to share?
Sure. One of the women, her name is Scarlett Lewis, and her son Jesse was one of the students who was killed in the Sandy Hook, Connecticut school shooting. He was a first grader, and he actually stepped in front of some of his classmates and he saved them. Unfortunately, he passed away, and Scarlett struggled with, okay, how do we fix this? We can't Band-Aid this problem. We need to get to the root of the problem. So she created the Choose Love movement, which is a program that's in thousands of schools across the country. It's in corporations, it's in some correctional facilities, that teaches educators and folks how to talk to students, how to talk to adults, how to understand what they're going through and the pain. So instead of just sitting there and blaming everyone, she's made a significant difference, and she's changed children's lives. She's helped them through some difficult times. Another woman, Samantha Harris, you may recognize her name. She was the host of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
She's a 2-time breast cancer survivor. She found a lump. They said, it's nothing, no need to worry. She went to a second opinion. Doctor said the same thing. And she went home and talked to her mom, and her mom said, trust your gut. So she got a third opinion and discovered it was cancer. But she's helping other women know what to eat, what not to eat, how to trust your gut, what questions to ask your doctor. So those are just 2 of the women, and there's 9 others in there, and their stories are so powerful.
Yeah, so much power, so much hope, and that's the most important thing. I know for me, in those low moments, it was my faith. Literally watching God reach out of heaven, hold me up, walk me through, teach me, rebuild my confidence from so many things. And I know for so many women, it's something different. What do you want ladies to take away from this? Because for me, it's what I want to transfer to the younger generation. Your faith is your foundation. Your faith, with that, you can overcome anything. And I know that you have something that's fueling you in terms of what your message is. But what is it that you want ladies who read your book to walk away with?
That's great. It's interesting, because all of the women in the book, the common theme for them was their faith, different faiths, but it's the one thing that really helps them come through. But I think for any woman or even a man reading this book is to know that we're all going to have these challenges, and you have to turn to what helps you, whether it's your faith, your family, your tribe, your whoever it is who loves you. And you have to get rid of all the toxic energy, get rid of the toxic people, even if you have to go off social media. Because when we're in those desperate times, we're scrolling through social media and we're seeing all these perfect lives. That doesn't exist. That's not real. So go to church. If you are having a problem with addiction, go to recovery, go to a meeting, do whatever it is that makes you feel good, and surround yourself with people who love you, because this is a blip in the road, but we all know that it's going to get better. It's just being able to see that light at the end of the tunnel.
That is so powerful. And it truly is the overarching message. It's just a season. You will get through it. And it's always how you decide to respond. Alison, my gosh, it's been such a gift to talk with you. It's been such a pleasure to be able to share your message with many other young ladies. I would love to have you speak to my young ladies in my Leadership Academy sometime, because your story is one that will teach the next generation how to overcome, but also how to thrive and how to rise. So God bless you, my friend, and I wish you all the best. And thank you for joining us today. I know you've inspired a lot of ladies. And once again, Alison's book is out now. You can get it now. And the book is Rising Above: Empowering Stories of Women Overcoming Adversity. Alison Maloni, thank you.